Hello, friends! Have you ever been a little bit scared of someone, but then you realize they are actually super nice? Well, today we're going to read a story just like that. It's called The Little Girl, and it's all about how a little girl named Kezia starts to see her papa in a brand new way.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think you know your mommy and daddy better now that you're a little bigger? Sometimes they do things we don't understand, right? Well, that's exactly what happens to the little girl in our story.
So let's meet our little friend, Kezia. For Kezia, her house feels very big, and there's one person who makes her feel very, very small and a little bit scared. It's her father. That just means she was really afraid of him and tried to stay away. You know, she actually felt happy and relieved in the morning when she heard his horse and carriage going away to work. That was the best part of her day. But when he came home at night, oh my, his voice was so loud. "Bring me my tea. Get my newspaper. Where are my slippers?" For a little girl like Kezia, all that loud demanding was super scary. And it wasn't just his voice. It was the way he looked at her. He would look at her over his glasses, and it made her feel so tiny and shaky. It was a really scary look for a little one.
So, you see, in her imagination, he wasn't just a regular papa. He was like a giant. His hands, his neck, even his mouth when he yawned. Everything about him seemed huge and not very friendly at all.
But then, Kezia decides she wants to do something nice. Her grandmother told her that her papa's birthday was coming up, so Kezia decided to make him a special gift. It was a very sweet idea. But oops, something went a little wrong.
Her plan was so cute. She sewed a pretty little pillowcase from yellow cloth, but, what could she put inside to make it poofy? She looked around and saw some nice paper on a table. Perfect, she thought. So she tore all the paper into tiny little bits and stuffed it inside her pillow.
But that night, everybody was running around the house looking for something. Her papa's very important speech for his work was gone. Those papers he needed to read from, nobody could find them.
And when Kezia said she tore up some papers for a surprise, her mother was not happy at all. Can you imagine hearing your mommy shout, "Come straight down to the dining room this instant"? Oh dear. Her father was very, very upset. He didn't understand that she was trying to make him a birthday present. All he saw was that his important papers were ruined. So he punished her with a ruler and told her never to touch things that weren't hers. Poor Kezia was so sad. Later, while her grandma was hugging her, Kezia cried and asked this really sad question. She just didn't understand. She tried to do something nice, out of love, but all she got was punishment. But this sad day actually led to something important. Kezia started to look around, and she realized maybe not all fathers were like hers. One day, she was peeking through a little hole in the fence into her neighbor's yard. The family next door, the McDonalds, had 5 children, and their daddy was, well, he was very different. It was like night and day. Kezia's father was so serious, but Mr. McDonald, he was playing tag with his children. He was laughing and carrying them on his shoulders. And Kezia thought, wow, there are different kinds of fathers. And now we get to the best part of the story, the part where everything changes. An ordinary night turns into a very special one, and Kezia learns something amazing about the giant she was so afraid of.
So one night, Kezia's mother got sick. And she and Grandma, the person who always gave Kezia the best cuddles, had to go to the hospital. That meant Kezia was at home all alone, just with the cook. And she started to feel a little scared. In the middle of the night, all by herself, Kezia had a super scary dream. It was about a butcher with a big knife and a spooky smile. She woke up screaming for her grandma, but Grandma wasn't there.
But someone else was there. It was her father. And he wasn't angry that she woke him up, not at all. He just picked her up, carried her to his own big, warm bed, and tucked her in right next to him. He even told her to rub her cold feet against his legs to get them warm. It was so gentle and so kind.
And right then, snuggled up and safe, Kezia understood. He wasn't a giant. He wasn't a monster. He was just a man who had to work really, really hard all day. And he was just too tired to play games like Mr. McDonald. For the very first time, she felt sorry for him. She snuggled closer, and she could hear his heart beating. And you know what she said? She whispered, "What a big heart you've got, Father dear." And just like that, she wasn't scared anymore.
Isn't that a wonderful story? It just shows that sometimes we're only scared of people because we don't really understand them. It took just one scary nightmare and one small act of kindness from her papa to change everything for Kezia. It really makes you think, doesn't it? One moment of kindness can make everything better.